Welcome to the History AI podcast, where the past comes alive with facts, anecdotes, and a dash of humor. Here are your hosts, Chuck and Marco.
Welcome back to the History AI podcast, where we dive deep into the annals of history to bring you the stories that shaped our world. I'm Chuck, your co-pilot on this journey through time.
And I'm Marco, ready to unravel the threads of the past with you. Today, we're focusing on a pivotal moment in the American frontier era, the Battle of Adobe Walls. But before we get into the thick of it, Chuck, how's your week been?
Oh, just been reading up on battles and dreaming of being a cowboy. How about you, Marco?
Same here, though I think I'm more of a gunslinger in my dreams. But let's saddle up and head into today's topic. The Battle of Adobe Walls wasn't just a single event. It was a series of encounters that vividly capture the tensions and tumultuous relationships between Native American tribes and American settlers.
Let's paint a picture of the late 19th century, a time when the American West was a canvas of wild beauty and untamed danger. It was an era defined by the spirit of manifest destiny, a belief that Americans were destined to expand across the continent.
Indeed, Chuck. This expansion brought settlers face to face with the vast and varied landscapes of the West, from the Rocky Mountains to the sprawling plains. But it wasn't just the land that was diverse. The West was home to numerous Native American tribes, each with their own rich cultures and deep ties to the land.
As these settlers pushed further into the frontier, they sought not just to inhabit the land but to transform it. Towns sprouted like wildflowers, mines dug deep into the earth, and the railroads stitched together the vast distances. Yet, this progress came at a cost.
Right, Chuck. The cost was the displacement and disenfranchisement of Native American tribes. Their ancestral lands were encroached upon, sacred sites desecrated, and the very foundation of their way of life, the buffalo, was threatened by overhunting.
And it was against this backdrop that Adobe Walls stood, in the heart of the Texas Panhandle. Initially a trading post, it became a symbol of the frontier's contradictions, a place of exchange between cultures, but also a flashpoint of conflict.
The tensions simmering between settlers and Native American tribes were not new, but by the 1870s, they were reaching a boiling point. The stage was set for a confrontation, and Adobe Walls would be the spark in a powder keg of accumulated grievances and fears.
The fuse was lit in the early 1870s, a period marked by escalating tensions on the frontier. Central to these tensions was the buffalo, an animal that roamed the plains in vast herds and was integral to the Native American way of life.
Exactly, Chuck. The buffalo provided food, clothing, shelter, and tools. Essentially, the buffalo was the cornerstone of the Plains tribe's existence. But as settlers moved westward, the demand for buffalo hide surged back east, sparking a hunting frenzy that threatened to exterminate the herds.
This reckless slaughter of the buffalo was not just an ecological disaster, it was a direct attack on the cultures and survival of the Native American tribes. Leaders among the tribes, including the Comanche, Kiowa, and Cheyenne, began to see the urgency of the situation.
It's in this atmosphere of desperation and survival that the significance of Adobe Walls comes into focus. Originally established in the 1840s and rebuilt in 1874, Adobe Walls was a trading post that attracted hunters, traders, and Native Americans alike.
But by 1874, it had also become a magnet for buffalo hunters, armed with new, powerful rifles that could kill at long distances. These hunters were decimating the buffalo herds at an unprecedented rate, pushing the tribes to a breaking point.
And so, in the spring of 1874, several Native American leaders, including the Comanche chief Quanah Parker, began to organize a concerted effort to drive out the hunters and reclaim control over their lands and the fate of the buffalo.
This wasn't just a military campaign, it was a fight for survival, a defense of a way of life that had sustained these tribes for generations. The stage was set for a confrontation, and Adobe Walls was at its center.
With the plains echoing the thunder of buffalo and the whispers of impending conflict, the battle lines were drawn. What followed would be remembered as a defining moment in the struggle between Native American tribes and American settlers.
As dawn broke on June 27, 1874, Adobe Walls was about to enter the annals of frontier history. The night before, a group of about 28 men and one woman had gathered at the trading post, unaware that they were on the verge of a siege.
These men were not soldiers, they were buffalo hunters, traders, and adventurers drawn to Adobe Walls for its promise of wealth. But on that fateful morning, they found themselves defenders of a makeshift fortification.
The Native American forces, led by Comanche chief Quanah Parker, consisted of several hundred warriors from the Comanche, Kiowa, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes. Their plan was a surprise attack, aiming to overwhelm the inhabitants of Adobe Walls before they could mount a defense.
The attack commenced at the crack of dawn, with the Native American forces charging the trading post. However, the element of surprise was lost when one of the hunters, Billy Dixon, reputed to be one of the best shots in the West, noticed the approaching warriors.
The defenders quickly armed themselves, taking up positions behind the walls of the trading post and its surrounding buildings. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the hunters' superior firepower, including the newly introduced Sharps rifles, allowed them to hold their ground.
A pivotal moment in the battle came when Billy Dixon, in an act of almost unbelievable marksmanship, took aim with a big .50 Sharps rifle and hit a warrior from an estimated distance of nearly a mile away. This shot, whether by its accuracy or the sheer improbability, seemed to demoralize the attackers.
Over the next several hours, the battle raged. The Native American forces made several attempts to breach the defenses of Adobe Walls but were repelled each time. The hunters' rifles, capable of accurate fire at long distances, prevented the attackers from getting close enough to cause significant damage.
By the end of the day, the Native American forces, realizing the futility of their assault against the fortified position and superior weaponry, withdrew. The defenders of Adobe Walls had withstood the siege, but the battle was far from a clear victory for either side.
The aftermath of the battle saw a significant shift in the dynamics of the Texas Panhandle. For the Native American tribes, it was a sobering realization of the changing times and the increasing difficulty of resisting settler encroachment.
For the settlers and buffalo hunters, the Battle of Adobe Walls became a symbol of their resilience and determination to claim the West, regardless of the cost.
The Battle of Adobe Walls was more than a standoff in the Texas Panhandle. It marked a turning point in the struggle for control of the American West. In the immediate aftermath, the buffalo hunters and settlers emerged emboldened, their resolve strengthened by their survival against overwhelming odds.
But for the Native American tribes involved, the battle was a devastating blow. Not only had they failed to dislodge the buffalo hunters from Adobe Walls, but the loss also signaled the diminishing power of the Plains tribes against the ever-encroaching wave of settlers, and the military might of the United States.
The battle also precipitated the Red River War, a military campaign launched by the United States Army with the aim of removing the Southern Plains tribes to reservations. This series of engagements throughout 1874 and 1875 effectively ended the traditional way of life for the Comanche, Kiowa, and other involved tribes.
On a broader scale, the battle and its outcomes highlighted the devastating impact of westward expansion on Native American cultures. The near extermination of the buffalo, a deliberate strategy employed by the U.S. government to subdue the Plains tribes, was an ecological and cultural catastrophe.
Yet, the legacy of Adobe Walls is complex. For historians and enthusiasts, the battle exemplifies the rugged individualism and frontier spirit often celebrated in American lore. It's remembered as a testament to the determination of settlers to carve out a life in the West, despite the moral and ethical implications of their actions.
The battle also underscored the importance of technological advancements in shaping the outcomes of conflicts. The superior firepower of the buffalo hunters, especially the long-range accuracy of rifles like the Sharps, played a critical role in their defense of Adobe Walls.
In the years that followed, the battle became a symbol of the broader conflicts between Native Americans and settlers, encapsulating the tragic consequences of manifest destiny. It served as a stark reminder of the cost of expansion, not just in human lives, but in the loss of cultures and ways of life.
And as we reflect on the significance of Adobe Walls today, it's essential to remember the lessons it teaches us about resilience, conflict, and the complexities of history. The battle, while a footnote in the vast narrative of the American West, offers invaluable insights into the challenges of coexistence and the consequences of progress.
As we bring today's episode to a close, let's remember the enduring impact of the Battle of Adobe Walls on the American conscience and the ongoing journey toward understanding and reconciliation between cultures.
Thank you for joining us on this dive into one of the American frontier's pivotal moments. Your engagement and curiosity fuel our exploration of history's multifaceted stories.
As we wrap up today's journey through the echoes of the American frontier, we want to remind you that the History AI podcast aims to bring timeless tales from the past into the present. Each episode, including this dive into the Battle of Adobe Walls, is crafted to be evergreen, meaning no matter when you listen, there's always a piece of history to uncover and learn from.
And it's your support that keeps these stories alive and allows us to explore the depths of history together. By sharing our podcast, subscribing to our channel, and leaving us a review, you're not just helping us grow, you're helping history reach every corner of the globe, inspiring curiosity and understanding across diverse audiences.
Remember, every rating, especially those 5-star reviews, boosts our visibility and enables us to connect with more history enthusiasts like you. Your feedback not only encourages us but also helps shape our future episodes, ensuring we're always bringing you the content you love.
We're here because of you, our dedicated listeners, and we're grateful for every comment, share, and suggestion. If there's a topic you're burning to hear about or a historical event you think deserves more attention, reach out to us on social media. Your input is invaluable in our mission to uncover and share history's untold stories.
And don't forget to check out our merchandise. Each purchase supports the podcast and allows us to continue our work. You'll find the link in the show notes. And as a thank you to our listeners, we're offering a 10% discount on your first purchase. Just use the code TheHistoryAI all one word, at checkout.
Thank you for joining us on the History AI podcast. Your engagement turns these historical narratives into living, breathing discussions that transcend time and place. Together, we're not just learning history, we're keeping it alive for generations to come.
So, until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep supporting. History is vast, and there are endless stories waiting to be told. We can't wait to uncover them with you. Looking for the perfect way to show appreciation for the incredible mom in your life? Discover Exhausted Moms, a coloring journey to relaxation and humor, the coloring book that speaks directly to the heart of motherhood. Gift her an escape into pages of laughter, empowerment, and moments of tranquility. With Exhausted Moms, she'll find a blend of whimsical illustrations and inspiring quotes that celebrate her daily triumphs and challenges. Crafted with love from images I created for the mother of my children, each page offers a space for creativity and relaxation, a reminder that she's doing an amazing job, even on the toughest days. Give the gift of laughter, peace, and recognition. Exhausted Moms isn't just a coloring book, it's a hug, a nod of understanding, and a token of appreciation for everything she does. Surprise her with Exhausted Moms today and watch her face light up with joy. Because every mom deserves a moment to herself, wrapped in the colors of love and support.